Welcome back to the 7 Eyewitness News. Hiring 716 special examining Western New York's child care crisis. Good evening once again. I'm Jeff Russo.
And I'm Ashley Rowe. Get this. According to state figures, center-based child care costs an average of $12,000 a year in Erie County. For some perspective here, that is double a SUNY education. And we are only talking about one child for 1 year.
Yeah, one child for 1 year, right? But some area businesses are finding ways to help families juggling that work and life and all the costs that go along with it. Hiring 716 reporter Ali Tui is taking us inside some local success stories.
How is everything? Homemade jam good?
Amanda Amico's got a lot on her plate. She's the general manager of the Swan Street Diner in Larkin Square.
Thanks, enjoy.
She's also a new mom. Both she and her wife work full-time, so daycare conversations began early in their household.
She was 4 months pregnant when we started looking. Yeah. So we thought we were pretty on the ball.
Sweet Home Daycare opened at the Larkin at Exchange Building in Buffalo in 2004. Leslie Zemsky says offering daycare for business in and around Larkin Square was a no-brainer.
In some ways, we've taken inspiration from how the Larkin Company ran, where they provided a lot of extra amenities for their employees. We do the same thing. So the tenants who are in this building, we felt it was a very important component to offer on-site daycare here.
We could put the actions under the recently column.
Over at Rich Products, daycare is also a priority for company employees. John Zernheld's 2 children attend the center.
In Zernheld's case, he's able to drop his kids off here at the daycare and then walk a few steps to work. And the office is right around the corner.
I'm not making more stops around the city, and it's, giving me that right work-life balance that I need.
Rich's contracts with EduKids to run the facility. It covers the cost of rent and utilities, so Rich employees pay less for childcare here compared to other EduKids facilities.
It's a point that attracts people to our company, and I can tell you for sure it's a point that keeps people with Rich Products, and we're very grateful for that.
And then there's My Precious Angels Daycare. It was born out of a single mother's frustration with the system.
I was once that mom. I struggled to go to work, come home, make ends meet.
Which is why back then, Felicia Williamson took matters into her own hands.
14 years ago, I started in my home. It grew so big that 4 years after that, I became a center, and now we're opening our second location.
Williamson says a majority of families receive subsidies, meaning low-income families are given assistance to cover child care fees. And she doesn't cap the amount of subsidized children they serve, so that can make running a business a challenge. That's why she believes child care should become more affordable.
It's my passion. I love the children, and they deserve more, and I'm going to figure it out.
3 different approaches with one common goal: support working families of Western New York.
Support working families of Western New York. Ali Tui was just saying 3 great companies to profile. And once again, Felicia, thank you for having us here tonight at My Precious Angels. Amanda, why is it that more companies are not getting into the business of childcare? We've just seen examples of how it can really help retain employees and can really help just the overall workforce.
I think there are several reasons why. I think there's still a lack of knowledge about what it is that employees need that get to the right people in a company that are really setting policies. Is this information really getting to the HR professionals in a company, to the CEO, to the COO, that employees are struggling with work-life balance or are leaving early because their child is sick or because their child care option fell through? It is, of course, expensive. An investment in childcare from an employer. There's a cost to it. I think it's a cost that is worth assuming, but still a cost. And in addition, it is it's challenging to figure out the how. And how does a company even go about building that childcare model that meets their employee needs? So several reasons, many factors.
Subsidies as well are helping on the parent side getting their children into childcare. That can be a difficult system to navigate. You deal with this, Jacqueline, all the time. Yes. Tell us about where we're at with the subsidy system in Erie County.
I mean, right now, Erie County is in a good position, and we are currently accepting applications for our subsidy program. We are at 200% of the federal poverty level, and we are looking for applications as we speak. So there are slots available. There is no longer a waiting list in Erie County.
Questions come up time and time again. Why does Erie County, though, get less state funding than other comparable counties, whether it be Monroe County, right down the thruway, Suffolk County as well? How does that formula work? Because a lot of people have wondered, why does our area get less state funding for subsidies for people in this area?
It is based on a 5-year average, and based on that 5-year average, if you're not utilizing all of your funding, then the state they recalculate and redo the formula, and unfortunately once you're in that situation, it's really hard to get out of it. So it's not based on the demand of the area, it's based on how the system is currently set up.
We have a graphic I want to just pull up here just to show exactly what the situation is like and how much money these counties are getting in comparison. So there are 280,000 people living at or below 200% of the family poverty line in Erie County. So if each of these people are to use a subsidy, there would be $90 available per person. That's in Erie County. That's compared to $160 in Monroe County, $257 in Nassau County, and $122 in Suffolk County. It just doesn't seem from the average parent's perspective to make much sense.
So how do you fix it, right? That's the big question. How do you get more?
Well,
for
one of the things, I mean, the subsidy goes towards the provider's payment. In Erie County has, provided an increased payment for our contracted providers, as well as an enhanced rate for any provider who has non-traditional hours, which I believe Felicia has non-traditional hours at this location, to offset the costs. And
right, so important for families. But Sherry, you were saying it's not necessarily allocated based on need.
Right. And then that's the problem. And I think we have used our advocacy lens to try to, and luckily the Western New York delegation of our New York State legislators are really supportive, and they get it. They understand the importance of childcare for our economy, for our parents, our families, and our children. And they are helping us to advocate for a change in the formulation. The formulation actually comes from the state, from the Office of Child and Family Services, passed down to the Department of Social Services on a county level. And I'll add that one of the other issues with regard to subsidy on a county level is that every county sets its own policies and its own levels for eligibility. So in Erie County, you can earn up to 200% of the federal poverty level. In Niagara County, you can only earn up to 120%. And so you could literally move across the street in Tonawanda and lose your subsidy and not be aware of it.
Wow.
It is a complex issue that we're trying to dissect here tonight. So where do we go from here? Our final thoughts from our guests when our Hiring 716 special continues in 2 minutes.